So, this Call of Duty 4 game was interesting. I was actually in the lobby with someone who was dominating my team and he was going like 45 kills and 9 deaths and all that stuff. I decided to check the guy's profile if he was a YouTuber or anything. And man, he was one of those overly cocky gamers. I mean, just reading his biography, I could tell that this guy was a straight up douchebag. Like, he's one of those gamers that you don't really want to be around with. You know, those guys. So right in this game, I knew I was going to put my try-hard pants on because there was no way I wanted to let this guy beat me and my team again. Matter of fact, the first guy I killed was that guy. The best thing about this game is I went 43 and 11 on this map, which is not really my best map as far as my performance goes, and I make him rage quit too, which is so awesome. I mean, what can I say? You put me on a good connection, my aim is on, I'm using my favorite gun, and I'm determined to make this guy have a miserable game. I gotta end the game with good results. I was actually going to make this video about cocky gamers, but I decided not to because there was really nothing much to say. I personally think it's retarded if you brag over a video game or brag anything in real life. You're just an insecure person. That's all I gotta say. I can sit here and brag about my ability to play console and PC FPS games very well, being good at multiplayer games and being good at single player games at the same time, but I don't do that because I don't need to. I don't see why people should need to know that. I mean, everyone gotta have a weak spot. So why do you need to have this emphasis of telling people that you're perfect or better than everyone? I just never really like playing any of these losers at the end of the day. When I bump into them, it makes me want to play my hardest just to ruin their day if I'm going against them. But that's pretty much it for the gameplay. So I'm going to talk about something similar to Call of Duty 4 in a way. I want to talk about, is it wrong or weird to play old games? Call of Duty 4 is so old as far as Xbox 360 / PS3 games go nowadays, or even Call of Duty. It's amazing that this game is about to be 7 years old, and it's the game that started the whole Call of Duty craze. To this day, you could bump into someone who just got Call of Duty because of Ghosts or Black Ops 2, and they might find it strange that people still play COD 4 since it's quote-unquote dated compared to those games. Or I guess because all the popular games are generally new, and there's this misconception that new games tend to be better than old games. I'm not really sure who invented that dumb philosophy. It's almost as dumb as saying single-player games have no replay value. The main reason why I love COD 4 over the newer COD games are so plentiful to list. I really love how the netcode used to be decent, and Call of Duty is getting worse and worse as far as connection goes. Everyone knows that this game is very important when it comes to connection. You can be like really horrible, but when you have a connection advantage, you can make yourself look like a good player. And yeah, man, if you don't have the right connection, Call of Duty can definitely ruin your playtime. I also want to mention that every time like a new Call of Duty game comes out and I'm checking on the forums and threads just to see if anyone's complaining about the connection, there are so many of them, and that's just like pure evidence of why I'm not really enjoying the new Call of Duty games nowadays. I also miss how Call of Duty used to be so gun-on-gun focused, and Ghosts is like that, but it's just not the same. Everyone that plays that game knows the assault rifles are very dominant, and there's a lot of spot where you can play defensively, and that's just not really my play style. I mean, you guys see me post a lot of like fast-paced and aggressive first-person shooters, and even when it comes to Call of Duty, I play like those games. There are more I can list, but I don't want to just focus on Call of Duty. There are other things I could mention. I loved Halo 2's multiplayer over the other Halo games, although I do enjoy all of them for different reasons, but it just doesn't beat it since the maps and gameplay was astounding back then, and it still is. Then you got DLCs. It's a brand new way to extend a game's lifespan, but I've always thought expansion packs were better, and I guess it's kind of dead since there's not many games that seem to adapt on it, unfortunately. I could really put a lot of things, like I can talk about how I don't like a lot of new games that seem to try to have tacked on campaign or multiplayer. There's really a lot of stuff to list. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm just trying to give you guys a brief sample of it. However, even though I do disagree with this whole talk that new is always better, I'm still open-minded to stuff. I personally thought Shadowrun 2007 was a great FPS game, and it was a spin-off of an RPG game, so that's a new idea for that franchise, but the game was actually really polished and good. I do like some of the new ideas that both Treyarch and Infinity Ward try to implement into the Call of Duty series, like the whole assault streaks, support streaks, specialist streaks. You got theater modes, keep Call of Duty a bit more interesting to play. So I'm not like one of those, oh, I miss the good old days type of gamers. I mean, I'm always open to stuff, but the fact that there is a mentality of that mindset just annoys me. I grew up playing FPS games like Doom and Duke Nukem, and I like Call of Duty, which is so different compared to those two games. So there's no way you cannot say that I don't have an open mind. So that's really it for the commentary. And if you guys were paying attention on that guy's gamer tag, he basically rage quit once I put my airstrike on him. It was pretty funny. And don't send him like any spam messages or any of that stuff, because they are hilarious, but I don't really want to promote it. And I will probably end this video right after my 15 kill streak on this map, because like I said, this map isn't really like designed for me, and I really don't play it that well most of the time, but the fact that I got a 15 kill streak on this map is pretty cool. So peace out, guys.